Alright guys, it's Dokkan time again, and what I really mean to say is it's World Tournament time again, and that means we have to go through teams. Now, the last time either JP or Global got a World Tournament was actually several months ago, and by several months ago I mean like pre-Golden Day. So we got a lot of units, well not a lot, we got a couple of units to go through. So JP is on their 48th tournament, and Global is on their 45th tournament. Now, oddly enough, we're actually only about one or two world tournaments. Actually, we're only a tournament behind. I'm not really sure how we came out of the three different world tournaments. I'm not sure how we're three world tournaments behind at this point. But regardless of that, JP is starting today, so I figured this video is a good time to get out. So the whole point of this video is to go over the new Super Buu, to go over Piccolo, and basically any options that we may or may not have for World Tournament. I'll first start and say that Super Buu is good, but by no means do you need him like you would need, say, Broly or someone like that. Super Buu is nice, he's good, he's cool, but he's not necessary, and I'm gonna go over exactly why. Because this fool right here, this Piccolo Jr., is the new actual unit you absolutely 110% need for World Tournament. Like 110%. I'm gonna show this little tiny video right here, real quick, because this is exactly why you need it. This is why you need them. This video is Minato Flash's video. He posted on Twitter showing that active skill Piccolo Jr. wipes every single enemy at 55% on his own team. Now, I mind you, right there, this is type disadvantage. Broly still took 1.6. Okay? It's not 600k. No, it's 1.6 million damage is what he took. Right there. 1.6 million. At 30 times difficulty. So, trust me when I say that yes, even at 55%, you can do enough damage with this fool, even at 55%, to one-shot every single freaking enemy in World Tournament. Now, going forward with that, I will say this. If you do not have Piccolo under his leader, and if he doesn't have some form of support, and he's only at 55%, he may not kill everything at, say, the finals of World Tournament. That is entirely possible. Maybe even the semifinals. It's very possible if you get like a whole rotation of physical enemies somehow. Maybe if you're just that bad at RNG, you have that bad RNG, you have that bad of luck. But otherwise, he's probably 95% of the time going to one-shot everything with his active skill. If he doesn't, he'll just sweep him up. It's not a big deal. This is the new World Tournament King right here. I don't care who you are. I don't care who's gonna downplay him. I don't care about that. Listen to me. This is the new World Tournament best unit in the game. Deal with it, okay? The fact that he activates is active just with having two enemies on the field at once, and he's actually, I don't know, he's actually freaking disabling an action. So even if you don't kill them, they're frozen. They can't attack you for that turn. So more than likely, you're going to be able to sweep them right back up. Okay, yeah, you don't shave off all that time, but you're going to wipe them no matter what, because this guy can super attack 3 times in a given turn. So, I mean, he's guaranteed double super attacking. If he doesn't kill all but 1 or 2 enemies, he's going to kill them at 55%. I promise you. This is the best World Tournament unit in the game, okay? Get over it. Now, the second best unit for World Tournament is 100% this Piccolo. Now, the only issue, the real only issue with this Piccolo or this Piccolo is the fact that they're not an LR. Because they're not an LR, that means that they're not giving you the maximum amount of points. Okay, so this is the weird thing about this. I'm going to be real here. This is the weirdest thing about World Tournament, is that the only... It is true, if you kill a whole team of LRs, if you defeat a whole team of LRs, you get more points. You don't get more points for running a team of full LRs. It's kind of a weird thing. You're basically making a full team of LRs for other people to beat, so other people will get more points. So don't feel bad about making a team with 2 true URs, because it doesn't matter to you. It just matters what you defeat. But moving on from... Okay, no, don't move on from yet. This was the best World Tournament unit before this Piccolo. This Piccolo was. Because, actually, I think that we did tests earlier in the year. This guy actually super attacks faster than this Piccolo can activate his active skill. It's quite funny, really. So if you get a turn or a rotation where both of these guys show up, it's entirely possible that you should just go ahead and collect the keys really quick, 1 key sphere or whatever, and just have him super attack. Unless you're just getting bombarded in slot 1, and then maybe instead you should go ahead and activate this guy's ult. It just really depends. But this guy super attacks faster than the active skill for this Piccolo. But otherwise, this is a guaranteed wipe. Guaranteed, because he automatically crits when he's facing 2 or more enemies. So, I mean, even if this guy's at 55%, he's still killing everything on the field, because he's critting every single enemy. But yeah, so guaranteed, 100%, if you have both of these Piccolos, you need to run them on the same team for World Tournament. And I'm going to go over teams at the end of this video. But then we got Broly here as the runner-up of best units in for a World Tournament. Both of these Brolys, are very good. But they're just completely overshadowed by the pure raw damage of these Piccolos and the active skills and how quickly they can fight back. If you still only have these Brolys, that's fine. It's still a very viable strategy. I don't see any issue with using them. They're still going to get the job done. And then as some runner-ups here, we do have this Vegeta right here, and then we have this Nappa and Vegeta. They still, once again, do an extremely good job, not to mention they're actually on this Piccolo's leader skill, which is what we're about to get into. This Boo, once again, like I said, he's really good. There's nothing wrong with him. He does hit all enemies at 18 key super. The problem is, well, I mean, he's not really going to be on a team. You're not running this guy on any team other than an all types lead. So he's only going to be at 55% probably. He's only going to be under a 120 lead, so I don't really see the point in using him. If you want to use him because you pulled him, by all means, but I don't think he's a good unit to use in World Tournament anymore. Yes, he has huge raw damage, but it doesn't mean he's faster than this. It doesn't mean he's faster than this. It doesn't mean he has a leader skill like this. It doesn't mean he has key support like this. I mean, he's not good enough, in my opinion. He's not good enough. He's good. He's an option, but he's not good enough. And as a free-to-play option, this Krillin got an easy A recently. He didn't really get necessarily super good, but he's still the same as he was before. He's still launching an additional attack at 6 or more enemies, so that means you have to be in World Tournament to activate this, and you have to be at the beginning of the turn. If it goes on to the second turn, and you get this Krillin, and you didn't kill everyone, well, he's not going to be able to super attack twice. He's only going to super attack once. Unless you have a lot of additional in his kit, which I would not suggest. I would suggest if you're rocking Krillin that you have, oddly enough, if you can do it, make a separate LR Krillin that's purely for World Tournament and make it so he's got full crit. because he's already got built-in additional, and for World Tournament, you just want him to super attack and crit every single thing. Crit is important in World Tournament. But all of this being put aside now, I will go over these EZA units later today. I don't think they're very good EZAs. The EZAs that came out this time around are pretty poor. These EZAs are pretty poor. I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty poor. Especially this Goku. This Goku's trash. This Goku's absolute garbage. Cope. If you think he's good, you're coping. You're coping hard. This Vegeta's not too bad though. But moving on from all of this, now that we've shown off the units, I'm going to go ahead and if I can, let me get it back up here. What'd I do with it? It would help if my screen wasn't turned off. There we go. So, I'm going to go over real quick the teams for World Tournament. This is your standard typical team of World Tournament. You got your two Brolys here for AoEing. You got your key supports for Turles and the Metal Cooler. And then you have the guaranteed stuns with the Chaozu and the Jaco, which I have regularly used this as a staple team for years now, and I no longer will. It's not a bad option. It's not a bad choice. Once you get the rotations down perfectly, you're saving tons of items. You're saving so many items. In fact, I would say this is the best beginner-friendly team you can try to utilize. 100%. You would probably use a different leader, obviously, but this is still probably the default team for most people if you do not have a lot of units and if you're fresh or new. Obviously, you can move out any of these four right here. These four are what I would say can be flip-flopped all around depending on who your AoE units are. The next team we have right here is actually probably what most people were using in the last World Tournament, which is a all-types Ginyu lead. You have every single unit as an AoE, and then you have the best, fastest freaking AoE unit in the game, which is just auto freaking killing everything. In fact, a lot of people in the last World Tournament were running a friend lead of this Piccolo so that they could have double of him. But the only issue I have with this team is, like, if you get the worst RNG possible and you end up with both of these Piccolos on the second rotation, or one's trapped in slot 7, then it's entirely possible that these three here are actually not going to get the job done, depending on if they're only 55%, it's entirely possible these guys won't even kill the whole field at times 30 difficulty. Same thing especially with this cell. This cell will not do it. So these are heavily dupe required. Like, you need dupes in these guys, at least one, just so you can get the crit chance up and get the attack modifier up. Ginyu's just there for leader and key support, of course. The next team is just this. It's pretty much the same exact team as this one. It's just a variety of different actual AoE units. That's what everyone's doing. They just flip-flop all the AoE units. But this right here, in my opinion, is literally the best new World Tournament team in the game. You cannot get any better than this. You literally cannot. You have as many LRs as possible. You got key support and link support for both the Piccolos. You got both of these guys almost auto 18 keying, almost autoing. You're probably going to have to use an item for Vegeta on the worst case of the scenario, if you absolutely need to use them for the worst possible. If you got the worst possible rotation in history of having these two Piccolos and then the friend Piccolo trapped on slot 7 and slot 2, and you are absolutely stuck with these guys, you're still gonna auto super attack every single enemy and kill them. That's just how that is. No matter what, you're winning with this team. And once again, Ginyu here just for the key support specifically, because he gives all allies key +3. But even at 55%, this guy is the best new World Tournament unit in the game. I would argue to say that both this guy and this Piccolo, both these Piccolos, you can put them as your friend leader, either one, and everybody will be happy. I will put a disclaimer for this, though. I am going to point this out right now. If you do not run this team, like this almost exact team to the T, like the exact one, I'm sorry, this is it. If you don't run this exact team, you're probably not going to be able to get into a top placement in World Tournament. That's just how it's going to be. I'm sorry. It's unfortunate. But the truth is that these two Piccolos are going to get you through every fight in seconds. Absolute seconds. It's not even a joke. You will get through each fight in 10 seconds. 10, 11, 12 seconds is how flat you will get through each fight. On average, going through the prelims and going through semifinals, quarterfinals, and finals. Let's see here. Averaging out the math, hardcore people are going to go through a single world tournament in about 2 minutes. Like hardcore people, they're just hyper focused at their screen. They're going to be tapping the screen right on the money, and they're going to get through a single whole world tournament in like 2 to 3 minutes. Now, obviously, there's loading and there's all the extra screen. So yeah, maybe it's going to be like 3 or 3.5, 4 minutes at most. But people are going to be blowing through that. They're going to be blowing up those wins stupidly quick. Like these Piccolos changed the game. They changed the world tournament grind. So you're just not going to be able to keep up with it. I'm sorry. You can't you can't keep up with the world tournament anymore. If you do not have one or both of these units, in fact, actually, I'll argue to say, if you don't have both of these units, you cannot get a top placement in world tournament. Just give up. I'm sorry. Get your wins, get all the missions done, get all the rewards. You can try and get a high placement if you so wish, but you have to have Piccolo Jr. and you have to have this STR Piccolo in order to get a guaranteed top placement in the world tournament now. It's just the way it is, because they wipe the field so quickly, and that's it. As a last second thing, just to make this a full world tournament video, my suggestions for items, let's see here, for support items as far as anything goes, obviously buy as many Ghost Ushers as entirely possible, just in case. You're probably not even going to have to use this as long as you have Piccolo Jr., because you're just going to keep activating the active skill. But that's pretty much the only item you need for that. Now, if you're a lower rank person and you just have the bare minimum, you just want to get through it, then you're probably just going to want to go ahead and bring some key-related items just in case. So bring Fruit of the Tree of Might. Make sure you bring Shoe just in case. I usually bring those two. And then I will always end up bringing, of course, the Ghost Usher to, at the worst possible rotations, skip the turn basically and get to the next one. And then as a last ditch effort kind of thing, I usually bring this King Yema just because he reduces the damage by 50%. This will not save you from a super attack. I will tell you that right now. If you're on times 30 difficulty, this is not going to save you. No, it's not going to save you. I know there's a lot of people that where is she? They live by the Baba. They live by the Baba right here. A lot of people live by this Baba, and that's perfectly 110% fine at below times 30 difficulty, but at times 30 difficulty, I don't know if normals are even acceptable. A lot of normals can hurt you really, really, really badly unless you just have an absurdly tanky unit that's gonna take the hits. Baba is an option. It's better than nothing, but I don't think she's gonna save you at times 30. So, anyways, I guess that's it for the video, guys. Once again, Ghost Ushers, buy out as many as possible. King Yemas if you have a lower team, and then rock the key support items. At worst case scenario, you can always, of course, use Whis items. Remember, you can buy these items now in the item shop. There is no excuse anymore for not having a sufficient amount of items, other than you just don't have the money to spend. That would be the only argument there. Yes, it is a very expensive set of item. I mean, 3 of them are costing like 1,000,000 zenny, but it's stupid easy to get zenny now. It just requires you to actually grind. So, anyways, guys, let me know if you think this is the new best world tournament in the game. Good luck on JP for World Tournament, and good luck on Global for your World Tournament next week. Anyways, guys, have a good day and a good night.